things that you said. Yeah, and I've been up all night lately, thinking about you, yeah. Are we just holding on? We're scared, still bruised, yeah. You mess me up, fuck me up, just can't stop, no. Told me I don't need nobody, but every night I'm feeling something for you, yeah. You mess me up, put me up, thinking about you. Thinking about. I told me I don't need nobody, every night I'm feeling something. I told me I don't need nobody, but every night I'm feeling something for you, yeah. You mess me up, fuck me up, thinking about you.
Yeah, Jonathan, we'll see about that.
You think by the way you live will get you very far. Yeah. By calling Adam up, you'll find out who you are. You line up for the bathroom, can I come in with you? I'm gonna keep it on the low. I won't be leaving too soon, show you what we could do. Don't say a word, girl, let's go. You're out of line, are you so nebulous? I wanna feel something, I can't explain why you're so fabulous. I've seen you in my dreams, the start of nothing new. Girl, what you tryna do? So just talk to me, all this is here for you. You line up for the bathroom, can I come in with you? I'm gonna keep it on the low. I won't be leaving too soon, show you what we could do. Don't say a word, girl, let's go. You're out of line, are you so nebulous? I wanna feel something, I can't explain why you're so fabulous. I've seen you in my dreams. And when the night is over and all the stars are gone, this bitter kiss all I need. One taste to fall in love. You're out of line, are you so nebulous? I wanna feel something, I can't explain why you're so fabulous. I've seen you in my dreams. You're out of line, are you so nebulous? I wanna feel something, I can't explain why you're so fabulous. I've seen you in my dreams.
Do you ever feel drowning in open sky on the empty hill where you started your life, chasing past those skies in the dark of the night?
All right, everybody, we got a few more minutes. I'm just actually transferring some images from my phone into my computer so I can actually share these. And then we'll get going. Jeez, oh, peace. Why is this so hard? I almost opened that up in the wrong one. Dear. All right.
If I can, if I could build you up, don't bring me down, bring me down. If I fall, then would you lift me up? Would you lift me up?
Got about another 5 minutes, I think, and then I'll be ready to go.
They would like to start the beginning of a revolution.
If I can, if I could build you up, don't bring me down, bring me down. If I fall, then would you lift me up? Would you lift me up or bring me down?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just get pissed off when Okay. So, what I'm doing actually right now, we're going to actually go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk a little bit while I'm doing this. Let's go.
Welcome to the Tea Party with Marty Abernathy, a show by an ultra-feminine, meek, shy, totally unopinionated trans woman that seeks to listen to both sides and does not make fun of TERFs. You've listened to the show, right? You still want me to say this? Okay. Here's your host, Marty Abernathy.
All right. So tonight, I didn't know I was going to start off being this pissed. By the way, if you want to call and get in on the show, I have Zoom. We can do Zoom if you want to instant message me on Facebook or comment in the YouTube comments. And we'll get you the Zoom invite. That being said, I am pissed off tonight. I'm pissed off because essentially I've had people I made a post on Facebook and it was about Joe Biden. And guess what people made it about? They made it about Bernie Sanders. Didn't mention Bernie at all. At all. Didn't mention Bernie one bit. But you got these people that, for some reason, they have to talk about Bernie Sanders. It makes no fucking sense. And this isn't even what I was going to talk about. But because what I'm doing right now is I'm transferring images to my Google Drive because I couldn't get them downloaded quick enough. This morning, I actually had a conversation with a noted secular humanist. She used to be on the ACA's Godless Bitches. Her name's Jen Peoples. And to be honest with you, I was half asleep when I read the comment, but I was kind of shocked because someone had made a comment about Biden, and she said, the last I checked, this person lives in the UK, and she said, last time I checked, Brits don't get to vote in US elections. I get that it matters to the rest of the world, but you lose all credibility when you start both parties of the same bullshit. And that was actually her responding to me. Her original tweet was that this other person, this LS Dan, I think is his name, he had no right to say anything because he was in the UK. And I just thought that was absolutely ludicrous. She said, and what's this our side bullshit? Don't think we're on the same side. For one thing, your ass is sitting in London spouting your shitty hot takes on US politics. And I just said, what? Holy hell, what a shitty take. As if the POTUS doesn't impact everyone in the world. Do we not realize that yet? As if there aren't Americans around the globe who this election impacts, me being one. And the vitriol, she was just basically telling this guy to fuck off. Well, I go and this is literally my post on Facebook. I said, just had a prominent person in the secular community tell me to fuck off and block me because I agreed with someone else that Biden as a candidate is problematic because he's a lot like Trump. I think Biden is the better of the two choices left, but still. Apparently you can't point out the obvious. And I literally got someone that said, I feel the opposite and support Biden over Bernie. I didn't mention Bernie at all. If people don't like it, they can unfriend me. I respect people's political choices and don't condemn them. I didn't mention Bernie. This is about Biden. I didn't mention Bernie. And I said that. He came back and said, I was merely pointing out that people can support opposition candidates but be civil. Sometimes it's helpful to hear our other people's views. And I said, you're going to be civil about rape allegations. And he said, rape wasn't the topic of the post, was it? Not sure how you're going to take what I said as tolerating and respecting other people's political choices as being civil about rape, or am I missing something? He's a lot like Trump because he has people accusing him of sexual harassment and rape. He's like Trump. He has problems with being accused of corruption. He has, we can go down a list. He's got problems. In fact, I'm going to switch over to my browser window. Let me see if I can get this up first. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I want to see if I can bring this up, actually. I might as well just do it in the... Some random geek in the chat says, I think the Middle East should get to vote in the U.S. elections, since what happens in the U.S. elections affects the Middle East. I think the entire world. I think, I'm one of those people that wants, I'd be for a government that is much like the UN, only with no Security Council. Everybody has the same vote. Everybody has the same veto power, the whole 9 yards. Because what America does affects the entire world, but nobody seems to care about that. I'm going to bring some music back up, but just going to bring this. I'm actually going to take this off of while just to make sure we don't do any password malfeasance. Yes, you are in the screenshot. You guys can't see my keyboard, can you? See, now if I had this on a MacBook, I could share it all right now, but winter chicken dinner. Let's make sure that I have, yes, okay. I just wanted to make sure we haven't made the mistake of showing our password. All right. All right. Bring this back up. So this is the tweet that started it all. Basically. Now, I do think it's funny. I don't even know why this guy here, Chris Evans, who's not Cap America, he's someone that supported the prosecutor. Oh God, what's her name? She was the person that didn't support trans people, and now supports trans people. She was running for president. I forget her name. Starts with a K. Jonathan, help me out here. But he was a big supporter of her until she dropped out. And Chris Evans says, lesson for Democrats who want to win elections, don't cater your campaign to Twitter chatter. Joe Biden didn't, and it worked. LS Dan comes in and said, now we have an election with a choice between a red misogynistic racist and a blue one. And then Jen Peebles comes in, who is the former host of Godless Bitches, and she's also, I think, one of the founders of Progressive Secular Alliance. If I'm mistaken, someone can correct me. But she says, "Is there some reason why I should pay any attention to you, pro-Trump? Your pro-Trump propaganda seriously? Fuck off." And Ellis Dan comes back and says, "I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but my guess is that you seem to think that calling Biden a racist, misogynist is somehow a pro-Trump position. Racism and misogyny is fine when our side does it." And you know what? Here you go. Here you go. From The Intercept. This is from March 24th. And it talks about Tara Reid. And a Nevada politician, Lucy Flores, alleged that Biden had inappropriately sniffed her hair and kissed the back of her head as she waited to go on stage at a 2014 rally. Reid decided that she had no choice but to come forward and support Flores. She gave an interview to a local reporter describing several instances in which Biden had behaved similarly towards her, inappropriately touching her during the early 90s tenure in the Senate. In the first interview, she decided to tell a piece of the story, she said, that matched what happened to Flores. Plus, she filled a contemporaneous complaint, and there were witnesses, so she considered the allegation bulletproof. The short article brought waves of attention on her, along with the accusations that she was doing the bidding of Russian President Vladimir Putin. So she went quiet. The Time's Up Legal Defense Fund was established in the wake of the Me Too movement to help survivors tell their stories. She reached out to that organization. The Time's Up Legal Defense Fund was the recipient of outpouring of donations over the past 2+ years. So among the accusers backed so far by Time's Up are some of those who were assaulted by Harvey Weinstein, as well as scores of others. In January of this year, Reid spoke to the program director at NWLC and was encouraged by the conversation. The fact that she was a Sanders supporter and had come forward previously in incomplete fashion didn't dissuade Time's Up. The program director referred her to outside attorneys. So the story goes on from there, and you can go over to The Intercept and read this. But this is this is somebody that worked for Joe Biden, and I mean, let's see, update, March 26th. So we're talking about Thursday. Reid had given an interview with podcast host Katie Halper describing her time in Biden's office and what she described as a sexual assault in 1993. At the time, she told her mother, brother, and a friend who worked in Senator Kennedy's office about the incident. Her mother has since passed away, but both her friend and her brother told The Intercept they recall hearing about it from her at the time. So, the Biden campaign has, of yesterday, denied the allegation, of course. Women have the right to tell their story, and reporters have the right to obligation to rigorously vet those claims. We encourage them to do so because the accusations are false. And get this. For nearly 20 years, I worked for Senator Biden's executive assistant and supervised dozens of employees who reported to me. I took very seriously my duties with respect to human resources, following the direction of a senator whose insistence on professional workplace was embedded in our culture. In all the years of working for Senator Biden. Never once witnessed or heard or received any reports of inappropriate conduct, period. So, first off, because she didn't come and tell you, I mean, that is so ridiculous, given the context 20 years ago of what that would have meant. I mean, this is the guy that grilled Anita Hill. This as a Democrat. I mean, this is the guy that sniffs people's hair inappropriately. I mean, you can go, well, let's go over to YouTube. Let's see what we can find. Because you know what? I'm betting. If we go to YouTube and just do a search. Joe Biden touch inappropriate. Let's have a look. I mean, personal space. Do you not see that this guy is literally? I mean, you're getting too old and too lovely too. Oh God, we gotta. I think. Jesus Christ. Fun fact, I am blocked by not Captain America. I think that he has got some sort of block on. I think I must be on some sort of Bernie supporter kind of block list or something, because I've never had any interaction with the guy at all. Yet I'm blocked, which, you know, whatever. I support people to block whoever the fuck they want to block, but I have a feeling that it's been a block that was a long-term block with a bot. Bum, bum. I want to see if I can get. Sorry guys, I just want to see if I can get the sound here. The desktop sound.
What do you see?
A Jeep.
Oh,
This is my daughter-in-law.
Sherry, how are you?
Sanjay.
Hi, Jack. You have very good taste. Good to see you, man. You have good taste. Well, I'll tell you what, you've got very good taste. It's a pleasure to meet you. You have very good taste. Come on, it's going to hurt your reputation, man. You're going to have to go home and explain. What was I doing that Democrat? Kids, come on over here, okay? You ready?
Thank you so much.
Now, you getting in this picture?
I still hold back.
Somebody doesn't know about personal training.
Good, and again, please look right here.
Dude, so tell me about you.
His wife, Holly.
Hi, Holly. How are you? Now, Holly, you come over on my side. You come over this side. I want you next to me.
How you
I want you next to me. My other sister, you come over this side. Other sister. Come on over this side. Okay? Come on, sis. You get right in the middle of me. You go right over here. Over this way. Mom, you get right in the middle. Come on, Dad. Okay, here you go. Good. How old are you?
28.
28. God, I love you.
26.
26. Oh, thank you. I thought they were still in school. Too many beautiful girls in school. You got one job. My father used to say, for real, keep your boys away from your sister. That's the job. Just remember, no serious guys in your 30s. Is this your sister? You have a hard job. You got to keep the boys away from your sister. That's the deal. Hey, Jasper, you're going to have a hard job keeping the boys away from your sister. Like you had a beautiful
Do
sister.
you know what fucking year it is?
Away from your sister. That's the
Jesus
job.
Christ.
My dad used to say one job. Keep the guys away from your sister. My dad used to say you got one job. I have a beautiful sister like you guys. I swear to God, he used to say you have one job. Keep the guys away from your sister. You're in trouble. Okay, come on, everybody slide in here.
Hey, NBC.
So I'd say he's got a little bit of a fucking problem with space. So let's look for this again.
For years, people have noticed the somewhat strange and often, let's say, overly familiar physicality of one Joe Biden, specifically with women. Numerous photos have shown Biden in close contact with various women, prompting headlines like, "Joe Biden, we need to talk about the way you touch women." Late last week, former Nevada Lieutenant Governor candidate Lucy Flores wrote about her own experience with Biden, writing that at a campaign event in 2014, Biden put his hands on her shoulders, quote, inhaled my hair, and proceeded to plant a big, slow kiss on the back of my head.
I'm not.
So I'm not going to play this because I don't want to get a copyright strike against me, but I mean, this is a story that needs to be talked about. And what do you get online when you want to talk about it? This is what you get. This is to Lucy Flores, the woman that told her story. Shut the fuck up, you kiss and tell bitch. Lying bitch. Why now, you attention-seeking lying bitch? Stop blaming white people, you stupid bitch. Crazy bitch, go fuck yourself. You get people that talk about Bernie bros? These are definite Biden bros. Let's go have a look. Who do we got here? Theo D. Thank you, Theo D, for subscribing. But what the thing that I want to point to is, and this is something that I was listening to the whole Peter Coffin, Angie Speaks thing when it comes to someone that they know being accused of rape, or someone that's in their sphere, and that you have to do all this investigation, and you really don't have to do any investigation, because you're not an attorney, and this isn't a court of law, it's a court of opinion. But when you're trying to run for the highest office in the land, you should be vetted. You should, and things that you do should be talked about. If you're inappropriate, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you know, it's like when we should believe women when they talk about somebody that you don't support. If it's against Donald Trump, well, my God, we have to get these women to talk. But if it's Joe Biden, then they're a lying bitch. I get that people look. As it stands now, I would vote for Joe Biden over Trump any day of the week. But barely. Because the difference is not that much. They're both corrupt corporate. One is a billionaire oligarch, and the other one is someone that shills for oligarchs, corporate oligarchs. Joe Biden, for years, has been supported by MBNA and the credit card companies that were in Delaware. I mean, this isn't a secret. And you can go down the line. Bam, 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 bam. Now, will he replace someone on the Supreme Court that will not be as awful as a Trump appointee? I think so. By the way, if you want to give us a call, you can on the phone numbers. Oh, God, I need to put those on the browser here somewhere. In fact, I think I can do that right now. I think I can, but I'm not going to. Theo D, that's awesome. Jamie is awesome. We love Jamie. Some random geek is on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm concerned that when we get into these discussions, just like I did on my own Facebook page, you literally have people not talking about Joe Biden. They're talking about Bernie Sanders. I didn't even mention Bernie Sanders. And then later on, somebody says, I think Bernie is more like Trump. He's a cult leader whose followers believe his followers believe he the Messiah. Now, first off, I'm not disagreeing. Bernie does have a cult of personality. But that wasn't the topic. And why are you trying to push this narrative? Why do you need to talk about this? And it's like you're trying to force a discussion that's not the discussion that is being had. You have to ask why. I also wanted to... I mean, this is exactly why. This is from Newsweek. She said she didn't talk because she was in fear. This is a person that worked for Biden. That was part of his staff. I mean, Reed's brother, Colleen Moulton, said that their mother had told his sister to call the police. However, her brother acknowledged that he had urged his sister to move past it, telling her to let it go and move on because guys are idiots. Woefully, I did not encourage her to follow up. Reed said that she considered coming forward with their allegation a number of times in recent years, including former President Barack Obama's run for president with Biden on the ticket. But she supported Obama as a candidate. And you're talking about women that this is before Me Too, and coming forward ruins women's lives. They're never the same afterwards. They're always the focus of scorn and ridicule. People will say, oh, they're just gold digging. Oh, they're just doing this for popularity. Name one person that's done this, that's become famous or popular in a good way. Someone's contacted me on Facebook. Jonathan wants to come on, so I'm going to send him the Zoom link, and we'll have a little chitty McChat. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, invite. Hopefully this doesn't open up in the browser that I'm putting in here. Cuz that would be unfortunate. Although. All right, let's do this. Where are you, Jonathan? Where are you? There we go. All right, there you go, Jonathan. There is your Zoom link. We can have a little chat about it. But it seems to me like nobody wants to talk about the reality that
There
is.
we go.
Hello.
Everything's working now. Hello.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. No social justice alchemy this morning because some of us were feeling under the weather, and we're kind of like thinking, like, including the host John Brockman. So it's just like, wait a minute, if you're going to be not there but almost there, set it up and walking away, it's like we can easily not do the show Social Justice Alchemy. So that's why Social Justice Alchemy didn't happen this week. We skip it so that everyone in the group, because some of us weren't going to be participating anyway, to practice self-care, because self-care is revolutionary. And so that's why no sisters talk to me, but I'm doing fine as it is on a Saturday, on a day off for me. And I saw this your Facebook posts about your Twitter conversation, and I was just like, yeah. So that's where I commented on Twitter, and then saw my comment here, and like saw this stream you're doing, and decided to like jump in and like at least share some points or some of my thoughts on Joe Biden.
Can you tell us what you did comment on as far as on Twitter?
It was that dismissal from like that person who I didn't know if it's from the secular community. That's like, what did I say? It's kind of like, oh, you're from the UK, so why should we like you take your opinion seriously? I think that sort of thing. Where I just like said, hey, I'm American, and I also have my problems with Joe Biden as well, and so it's kind of like. Yeah, and I also said that there's a lot of similarities between the Democrats and Republicans, biggest things of both capitalist parties. And yeah, it's like Biden is better than Trump, but that's only by like inches, not miles. And yeah, just because like oh, do you want to have Trump for 4 more years? Does that mean that we can't be critical of Joe Biden for his sexual misconduct, for his sexual assault, for the history of his racism and his misogyny?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just so hypocritical to not be as intense when it comes to these types of accusations with Democrats or Republicans. It's very important that we do both. Otherwise, it's just a vehicle for people's. It's just a vehicle for their political issues with a candidate, and it's not about the sexual violence against women.
Mm-hmm. And I know so many people that are just going to be like, I feel it already that they're going to browbeat us into voting for Biden in the general if Biden is the nominee. And we can be critical about someone and still, I will say, vote for. If people do support them, just at least acknowledge our good faith criticism of Biden for why some of us are not enthusiastic to vote for Biden as well.
Well, and I mean, I'm gonna pick Joe Biden over Donald Trump every fucking time.
True, same here.
But I would like to quote someone on my Facebook page who had a very good point, and they said that the difference between Donald Trump and let me have a look. Oh shit. I want to get back to that post. So okay, I'm not finding. Oh, here it is. Better than Trump is a ridiculously low bar. Which do you want to eat, dog shit or cat shit? I mean.
And then I'm suddenly the scene from Pink Flamingos is now in my head.
Yeah, because we are being forced to eat shit. We're given two bad choices and expecting to make the least worst choice rather than the choice that we think is the best. You know, people, like I said, people keep bringing up Bernie Sanders, and I'm like, to me, that's done. That's done and over with. Bernie Sanders, there are ways where he could maybe contest the convention, but there's no way for him. A straight way for him, I don't believe, to get the nomination. So, as far as that goes, I mean, to me, that's over with. So why? I think the only reason people are talking about this is so they don't have to talk about what the accusations against Biden. And
yeah.
I mean, I think you have to. This isn't a new thing. I mean, if you look at Bill Clinton, it's the same fucking thing. The guy was accused multiple times of sexual impropriety, whether it be Paula Jones, whether he had 4 women, I believe, 3 or 4 women, and one woman did accuse him of rape. And I'm sorry, when you have one episode, you know, I'm not saying that there's more than one person coming out. That is a trend. That is a
yes.
That is something that needs to be investigated because there is a pattern there.
Yes.
And to not look into that just to me seems wrong. Now, that being said, do I think this is a tactic by, is this a tactic that I think Trump will use? Fuck yes, it is. The reality of the situation, though, is it's the same as 2016. In 2016, the stuff that they said about Hillary Clinton, guess what? It was true. The stuff, the emails that they took off the servers that the Russians supposedly hacked, even though it was a phishing of someone's Gmail account. It wasn't a hack. It was just literally phishing. Good old fashioned phishing.
Remember, people, don't click on those links if they're from like someone you never heard of or anything like that.
Don't use.
No one's going.
John Podesta was using a fucking Gmail account. Don't use a Gmail account. By the way, you're listening to the Tea Party, and that's why I have some tea on me.
Oh man, I don't have tea on me. Oh well, I'm not going to go in the kitchen and drink some tea. I'm just like have some mayo. It's just like it's black cherry flavored juice essentially that you just squirt into the water to make your water not taste like water.
Yeah. In this Newsweek piece, they talk about Reed being referred to about how she referred to Putin as a compassionate, caring, visionary leader and suggested that the Russian leader keep eyes to the beautiful future and maybe America will come to see Russia as I do with eyes of love. But she said she had been working on a novel, blah, blah, blah. She said, since then, doing more research, I don't support Putin at all. I've never been to Russia. I'm not going to Russia. Putin would not like me. I'm a vegan feminist. She said she voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So the thing is, I mean, ultimately, I'm more concerned, honestly, with the response from people poo-pooing this.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like hypocrisy to me. Because as I showed earlier, the guy has boundary issues. The guy definitely has an antiquated view of how you talk to women. I mean, and we can go through his fucking policies. They are not that different.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I mean, you want to talk about racism? He was against busing.
Yeah.
He voted for the crime bill that basically that Clinton put forward, that put a lot of black men in jail. I mean, you can go down this list. Here we go. The Biden bros are out in full force, and they have managed to destroy all credibility Democrats have on issues of misogyny in less than 48 hours. I guess it's true that the Democratic Party is the graveyard of social movements, and now they've just buried Me Too in there. of course, they're fucking making this into a Russian troll farm thing.
Yeah.
It was Camilla Harris that not Captain America. That's who he was a supporter of, was Camilla Harris.
Yeah. Even when like she just announced her candidacy, I remember seeing like some people on Twitter saying like, "Oh, now they're just accusing any of the one that's making like anti-Kamala Harris tweets to be like a Russian operative or a Russian bot."
Yep, and that's. Here's the thing: when it came to the even the bots that were true. That they found, they had so fucking little influence. It's not even funny. The way they influenced the election more than anything was more Cambridge Analytica than it was fucking bots.
Mm-hmm.
Bots rarely did any damage at all to Hillary Clinton. It was Cambridge Analytica where Steve Bannon was using targeted ads in a way that the Democrats weren't.
Yes, I do agree with that.
And that the most interesting thing about that is they literally have their ass handed to them in 2016. Don't actually, and it's the post I talked about. Who's to blame for Trump's win? I have up on the screen here. Each one of those points. Let's go down them. The DNC tipped the scales during the primary election. Seems like they're doing that. They did that once again. Debbie Wasserman Schultz rigging of the primary for Clinton. I don't think that's ever been addressed. The DNC memo that gave suggestions on how to ignore Black Lives Matter activists. I don't think any candidate in this election has talked about Black Lives Matter or black men being murdered on the streets by police officers. Still continues to happen. Third party voters, I think you still have a problem there because you have a candidate that people cannot get behind.
Oh yeah, I've already seen like many people who said if it's Biden that's in the journal, I'm not voting for them, and it's just like if they happen to be in New York or a very blue state where it's just that state's mostly going to go for the Democrat and nominate whoever it is anyway. So it's I'm not going to talk to them about reconsidering if they're in a non-swing state.
Well, when it comes down to it, I mean, so I'll give you some background. I'm originally from Indiana. I was a delegate for Obama in 2008, and I was a delegate from Indiana. Then I moved to Wisconsin and lived there for almost a decade. That being said, my experience in both states with both Democratic parties were the same. Basically, what they did when they ran Democratic candidates, they typically, in the big offices, they lost, and they lost because they ran against Republicans and not on their own platform with their own ideas. They ran against another candidate. They ran against Scott Walker and lost 3 out of the 4 times. I think it was 4 times at the, but basically they weren't saying these are my policy positions. They're very progressive. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. In Indiana, they had a senator that won, who was a Democrat. He won because the Republican that had beaten Richard Lugar, who is a long-term statesman, Republican, that had been the mayor of Indianapolis. The Tea Party candidate had beat him. His name was Murdoch. And then Murdoch came out and said that abortion was murder and that women ought to be put to death, something along those lines about abortion. And people turned against him for that. And the Democrat won. Well, it's a 6-year term. When that 6-year term is up, that Democrat repeatedly acted like a Republican, voted like a Republican, didn't vote with Obama, it wasn't progressive, never put out a message that was it was right of Obama. So basically what you're getting is a Republican light, and people that are Republicans will never vote for Republican light.
Yeah. They did it in 2004 and I don't think they'll do it again.
Does not happen. And how many times are they going to try to do this? How many times are they going to try to run a candidate that it's, quote, his time, but he's not a change candidate? And I mean, Bernie Sanders lost.
True. I agree to that.
I'm not going to. He lost because he didn't reach out to the constituencies that he should have. That being said, Biden is going to lose because he's not a change candidate, and he is a horrible speaker, and he has this stuff in his past that is awful. And I don't see a way around that. That being said, we should not have this conversation because it is uncomfortable or inopportune. People should know who they're voting for. And Biden is very, very close to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a look here for a minute. Because there were a couple in head-to-heads. Biden-Harris, 50% to Trump, Pence, 42%. Biden-Klobuchar, 50% to Pence, 42%. And Warren Biden, 52% to Pence, 42%. So, I mean, that's the, but you know what? I mean, that comes down to, how the candidates. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's take this test together, Jonathan.
Sure. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna put this on the screen so you can see it.
It's pretty funny, actually. Do you see it?
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Bloomberg News.
Who said it, Biden or Trump? I stopped in Singapore to meet a guy named Lee Kuan Yew, who most foreign policy experts around the world say is the wisest man in the Orient.
Oh, man.
I think that's probably Donald Trump.
My first instinct was Biden, because I don't know what made me think that he was talking in Singapore, but I think it might be Trump that would talk about Singapore, because I think it's recently he talked about Singapore. I don't know. So I guess it would be Trump as well.
Biden. Biden used the outdated term for Asia when he referred to the former prime minister of Singapore during a Get Out the Vote rally in Iowa 2014. Wow. He had just apologized for using the term Shylocks to describe unscrupulous lenders in a previous speech. Wow. From Phoenix to Flagstaff, from Mesa to Yuma, to the Red Rocks of Sedona, this great state was settled by some of the toughest men and the toughest and most beautiful women to ever walk the face of the earth. Was that Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
Trump is my first instinct.
Yeah, we'll go with Trump. It was Trump. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably have a much higher IQ than I do, I suspect. I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
I'm going to guess Biden with that one, but it could easily be like Trump because he always bragged about like he's one of the smartest persons that there is.
Yeah, no. What he says is, "I'm like a smart person." He doesn't say that he's like a smart person. He isn't one, but he's like one. So we're gonna go with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yep. Biden made the remark responding to a question about his academic record during a campaign stop in New Hampshire in 1987. In his response, he misstated his record, saying that he had received a full academic scholarship to law school, although his campaign later said it was a partial scholarship based on need. I'm not sorry for anything that I've ever done. I have never been disrespectful intentionally to a man or a woman.
This is where I flip a coin.
This is where I say both.
Yes. Oh my God, trick question. I got some D6s with me. Prime or not prime? Prime. It is Biden. Be my vote of these. Well, and then not prime. It is Trump. One that's not a prime number. One is not a prime number, so it is Trump.
Okay.
According to my dice.
We'll go with Trump. Biden made the comment after a speech in Washington in April in his first remarks after several women came forward saying that he had touched them inappropriately or made them feel uncomfortable. During the speech, he also joked twice that he had permission to hug a union leader and put his arm around a young boy. Sometimes some people don't know when to back off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I punched my music teacher because I didn't think he knew anything about music and I almost got expelled. I'm not proud of that, but it's clear evidence that even early on, I had a tendency to stand up and make my opinions known in a very forceful way.
That sounds like Biden to me.
Yep, I think that's Biden. That with his corn pop, rusty chain stories.
Yes.
No, that was Trump. Trump recounted an anecdote about a time in second grade in which he gave the teacher a black eye. Yeah, I'm sure. I cannot believe that a Frenchman visiting Kiev went back home and didn't say he discovered the most beautiful women in the world. That's my observation. It's certain you have so many beautiful women. Was that Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Trump. That almost sounds like that sentence break almost sounds like Donald Trump's cadence in his speeches.
Biden.
But that's the thing. I tried to go with cadence, but the substance of it is just so alike for both of them.
Biden made the remarks while speaking to the Ukraine President Viktor Yushchenko during a visit in 2009. The two were overheard by a pool reporter when drinking Cokes in the back of a pub in Kiev with other local officials. It's unclear who the French person was. The press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish.
Trick questions, both again. No, I think it's going to be Donald Trump because he always liked to be the strong man.
Okay, this is where I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's Joe Biden. So Biden made the remark
You're right.
while campaigning for Hillary Clinton in 2016. He responded to the leaked Access Hollywood video in which Trump had boasted he would grab women by the genitals because of his celebrity status. I guess we're going to have to compare IQ tests, and I can tell you who's going to win.
I think I must have like seen a video by Brina and Matt that like took this 2.5 minute video that like string a bunch of like Joe Biden clips together. So I think that like Joe Biden said something like that.
Okay, we'll go with Joe
But that's
Biden.
my guess.
No, it was Trump. Trump made the remarks during an interview in Forbes magazine in 2017. He responded to reports, which he calls fake news, that Secretary Rex Tillerson has called him a moron after a meeting with his national security team, which I wouldn't doubt. Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody has more respect.
That's Trump. I think I remember hearing Trump saying that.
That is Trump. Trump made the remarks during the third debate against Clinton in 2016. He was responding to her criticism of his treatment of women. Donald thinks belittling women makes him bigger, she said. Trump's response sparked snickers, leading moderator Chris Williams to warn the audience to stay quiet. What I'm trying to do around from town to town, what I'm trying to do is go around from town to town. And I am drawing as big of crowds, bigger than anybody. Have you seen anybody draw bigger crowds than me here in the state? God, that sounds like Donald Trump, but I'm almost thinking
That sounds like Donald Trump. That's my guess too.
I think it's Donald Trump, but I think it's going to be Joe Biden. It was Biden. Biden made the remarks while campaigning in Iowa in August. Fox News reporter Steve Doocy then responded he had seen bigger crowds in Des Moines, prompting Biden to respond, "I know you're going after me no matter what. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. But I noticed that you didn't ask me why I'm ahead in the polls still." It's packed outside, as you will be able to see, but they've never seen crowds like this over here. Now, I think that's Trump.
I think that's Trump too.
Trump made the remarks after arriving in Indiana shortly before the 2018 midterm elections. "I think we're going to do very well in the Senate," he told reporters. "There's something going on, okay? I'm telling you. We left Ohio together. You never saw crowds like this. Thousands and thousands of people outside." Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Jonathan sees this one. "You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking."
I know it is actually Biden because I've seen the clip.
Holy crap. Biden made the remarks while talking with an Indian American supporter in 2006. The point Senator Biden was making is that there have been a vibrant Indian American community in Delaware for decades. Maybe that's what he should have said. Holy mother of Jesus.
Yes, that clip was in the Brendan and Matt video that I mentioned. That I'll put it in the live chat since I have the ability to do that. But go ahead.
13 of 15. So we got 3 more of these. When these people walked into the room, they don't say, "Oh, hello, how's the weather? It's so beautiful outside. How are the Yankees doing?" "They're doing wonderful. That's great." They say, "We want a deal." I think that's Biden.
I think that's Biden, yeah.
Yeah, because he's always saying how he works with people. It was Trump. Trump made the remarks while campaigning in Iowa in 2015. He also used broken English to imitate the accent of South Korean and Japanese leaders. And has been known...
We need a great deal! God.
And has been known to affect an Indian accent and imitate Prime Minister Modi. "I can promise you, you're going to see the most important thing." No, this is not Trump, I don't think. "I promise you, you're going to see the single most important thing that changes America. We're going to cure cancer." No, I do think that's Trump.
Yeah, I think that could be Trump. Yeah, that's Trump.
Biden.
It's Biden.
That is such a stupid thing to say. First of all, because cancer isn't one thing.
Yeah. If you're saying that like we're going to cure cancer, that's like saying we're going to cure broken limbs. We're going to cure fractures or like it's a category and there's like thousands of different diseases that fall under cancer.
Yeah, we're going to cure all of it. We will come up we will come up with the cures to many, many problems, to many, many diseases, including cancer. Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah, Trump made the remarks. We will eradicate AIDS in America once and for all. Yeah. We only got 7 out of 15.
Oh, man. Oh man, this is like there's an excellent YouTuber by the name of Dumpster Flower. He and in his like one of his big video series, The Dark Side of Liberalism, the 4th episode, he had this little mini game show which included animations of him as like the host of it, Dumpster Flower, and it was the game of like Churchill or Hitler. Which of these quotes were made by Churchill or which of these quotes were made by Hitler? And it's like, it's just like this. There's so many of those quotes that those people would make that you will like, it will be hard to think is, and then kind of like, that's the point of like we like to think that like Churchill is far different from like Hitler, but yet there's like, no, there's a lot of similarities between both of them. It's just like Hitler, you can say goes too far, but Churchill, it's a horrible genocidal person as well. And like this game of like Trump and Biden also kind of shows is like they are not too different, just like Trump extreme.
Well, and I think my friend Marina summed it up correctly when she talked about cat shit versus dog shit. It really does feel, it really does feel like that. You're kind of like you're stuck with. Now Julie was a bit strong, but and that's the thing. That's what really shocked me though about Jen Peoples. I mean, she fucking blocked me basically, and she's someone that I respected a lot, and I was shocked by her blocking me because to me, she even said, Biden wasn't my first choice either, but he's the only reasonable choice left, which I agree with. And if you think Obama didn't have a conversation with him about his past positions, you're beyond ignorant. Now fuck off. And I'm like, first off, and I said, yes, I'm beyond ignorant. I was Obama's trans delegate, one of two. And on his LGBT policy and steering committee in 2008. I was a committee member. Obama made a political calculation choosing Biden. I think you're right, though. We're not on the same side. I'm fucking off right now. I'm fucking off following you for sure. But the thing is, that is almost like Biden had a black friend. You know, I think Obama made a wise choice in picking him because he had a lot of corporate support. He had a lot of the establishment support. So it brought a lot of those people in. But I don't think he and Joe Biden has lied repeatedly. He said he said he was a civil rights that he was working for civil rights where he lived, and he did not. He did not. The people, he was caught in a lie, and he still. You can go to The Intercept, and that's something else that kind of irritates me too. Is you'll get people say, "Well, it's just Glenn Greenwald," and I'm like, first off, The Intercept is more than just Glenn Greenwald. He is one of the creators, but Jeremy Scahill is a well-renowned journalist, and he is the main driver of a lot of these pieces, or people that have a lot of respect within the journalist community. You know, you can you can argue about Glenn Greenwald, and there are times when I don't like the guy. But that being said, his bona fides, I don't believe that they can even hardly be questioned. You know, when it comes to Snowden, when it comes to Assange, I think he's been right more than he's been wrong. And when it comes to exposing corruption in Brazil, he's been doing that too. So, I mean, you know, it's attacking the messenger, basically.
Yeah.
Jonathan, before I don't know that we're going to do this much longer, but I wanted to switch topics for a minute.
Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about anarchism for a bit.
Okay.
So I've noticed that you've had a discussion about kind of when you were a baby anarchist and kind of how you are learning to talk to people about it. How do you think that's changed for you, like over time?
I guess the lesson I have to like learn is just like have to gauge where people at and see what's like the thing that's like they'll say like, look, this is how I feel, because like weirdly enough, like by doing my mini essays that I write to like Steve Shives on his Ask Way, I have like finally kind of like accepted, okay, there are just some things that like Steve Shives just has faith in where I do not, which is Steve Shives still has faith in like representative democracy, and I have my criticisms of it as well as part of like the state as an institution. So it's kind of like it's kind of like where it's best to just like leave the crumbs there, or like say something or talk about something that they can agree with, and then you can just work together going down that path north. So leave the breadcrumbs instead of just like starting off with like, listen, we all gotta like listen, we gotta be serious, semi-serious about like the guillotines and get rid of the rich and get rid of the older landlords and get rid of all these like oppressive like structures, and we have to have a violent revolution. And it's just like, so sometimes, and other anarchists have already like known that like there are just some things that are beyond the pale, and to constantly talk about the things that to them are beyond pale is not going to like win you over. Also, what I have to like understand is just like kind of like what Steve Shives, who still has faith in representative democracy. There's only so far that some people can go, but it's also, it is best, the positions that people held are the positions that they come to that position themselves on their own terms. And so the best thing I can like do is just like, listen, this is how I see the world. This is how I see the problems. And this is like what I have problems with this, what I have problems with that. And this is how I see things. And that's where I think there can be improvements on. That's the best I can do. I can't just like demand that liberals agree with me that capitalism is evil and we must dismantle it, which I wish that more liberals would agree with that. But like, there's also, like I said, some people cannot be convinced. So it's just like, have to figure out the good way to figure out that they won't be convinced, and then decide to cut my losses at some point or another with the people who cannot be convinced.
So I want to read you something. This is a thread from a friend, Timber Wraith, on Twitter. She said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a society?" By the way, I'll bring this up. I'll bring the browser up so you can see it. she said, wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a society which put the same degree of preparedness into caring for the sick, the injured, and the elderly, where we stockpiled supplies to face a crisis like now. Alas, we live in a society which only respects and cares about violence and domination. And then she posted a link to a field in California that holds 4,000 completely unused brand new M1 Abrams tanks, because the nature of military production means the U.S. military has to keep ordering more, because stopping and restarting production would mean catastrophic delays in case of crisis. She said, don't kid yourself. This didn't happen just because of Trump. Trump is a logical outcome, the ultimate purest expression of violence, dominance, obsessed country we live in. This is the very roots and history of this nation, and this is the outcome. Wouldn't it be nicer if we lived in a society where we put the same degree of preparedness into caring for the sick, the injured, and the elderly, where we stockpiled supplies to face a crisis like now? Alas, we live in a society who only cares about violence and domination. We could actually work towards building a society which centered cooperation and non-hierarchical ways of being. We could, but we don't. And this is the outcome. Ultimately, our folly results in death. Human societies become cold and evil when they value nothing but the sword. People talk about wanting revolution. Sounds like a good idea, but it will take more than restructuring the economic structures of this country. This runs deep, deeper than economics, deeper than politics. We've been in this mode of being for centuries upon centuries. Yep, capitalism is a central part of the problem. But look in the mirror. Hierarchy runs through every relationship we have, from the ones we share with our partners and our children to the ones we share with the anonymous clerk who bags our groceries. It's so rooted in what we conceive of as sex and gender that hierarchy plays out in every relationship we have. It plays out in the bedroom. It plays out in how we raise our children based on what's between their legs. It plays out in the way gender objects and in the way we gender objects and animals. It plays out in what messages we send to our children and how they are expected to respond to outsiders. People with other ethnicities, other races, other sexualities, other genders, other classes, and on and on and on. We teach our children dominance and hierarchy from day one. These messages are in the news we consume, the books we read, the movies we watch, the games we play, and the words we type out on this website every day. This runs deep. Yes, I want a revolution, but the revolution needs to be about a hell of a lot more than money and class. You and I are oppressors too. We seek power. We use violence either in person or by proxy to get what we want. We kill in person or by proxy. All of us. You can kill the rich, you can kill the oligarchs, and in a decade or less, you will assume their thrones and halls of power. You will become the next face of evil. Look deeper. The revolution has to go deeper. And I thought that was really fucking powerful. And the funny thing is it's this. She wasn't at all talking. She's not an anarchist.
Mm-hmm.
but
yet.
But reading that, I heard threads of, not of a society based on mutual need, and about lifting people up, and about non-hierarchical organization of societies.
Yeah,
and it's good to see that there are people that aren't anarchists like us talking in this way, because even though she's not an anarchist, she's talking like one.
Yeah, exactly. That was definitely my thoughts. And I think that's something I have to remember, and actually that's something that David Graeber like mentioned in his like essay, "Are You Anarchist?" The answer may surprise you, which I did a reading of it and put up on my channel just to feed the algorithm. That's where, even though Audible Anarchist already has like the same version. It is where it's like he makes the argument that like anarchism is really just an extension of like all the things we were taught as kids of like be nice to one another, play well with each other, because we all have to share the toys in the room or share like the space in the classrooms or just share this planet with each other. And I think that is like a good approach where you don't have to say it is like anarchism, because there is like that notion of like the words being tainted. It's like anarchy out here, and I will still fight for like, hey, this is what anarchy means to me, and I think anarchy is awesome. But at the same time, sometimes it doesn't like win people over. But you can just like not talk about the labels, instead talk about the substance and the praxis as well.
Well, I definitely think that's why it can be really fucking boring to watch, but Professor Wolf from Democracy at Work is brilliant in explaining exactly why we need these things and how they can come about. And I think that kind of direction, I just I just literally got today I got some Audible credits, and I have now in my library Necessary Illusions and that's about the media from Noam Chomsky. And then Anarchism, Belinda Beginner's Guide, a Beginner's Guide, and Bullshit Jobs. And I'm just now finishing up Debt, 5,000 Years of Debt, which is very, very interesting. Very to understand how money actually moves and what it actually is. It's about trust.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. And, you know, I was talking about it to someone today because people are saying, oh, there's so much debt and, you know, what are we going to do? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is a human problem, and money is literally just, it's not really real. It's something that people have a choice in. Oh shit, I just lost my headphones. I am going to be right back.
All right then. I'll talk to the audience and like sit here. Well, there's 3 watching now on YouTube. I think there's still only one. I'm just gonna put the show screen up. I need a be right back screen, but yeah. It's welcome to the tea party. Marty Abernathy is just like getting some proper like headphones that will work and something like that. But I'm here. There's like 2 watching right now. One of them's me on YouTube for sure. Then know if like over on Facebook how many people are watching as well, or they're still watching. So I'm here. I'm some random geek. I have my own YouTube channel. It's a small one. I just like post whatever videos that I want on it. And Marty's back, I think.
I am. I got another set of headphones. These are my backup ones. But you can't see my little poofies.
Yeah, the poofies. Yeah, that's why I don't like those big Bose like sound canceling like headphones, because it's like they go over the head, and it's like my problem with like over the head like headphones is like they work fine for like baseball caps and like, but I have a lot of other like hats that like no, those headphones headphones just won't work. They won't fit. My tribbles, my cowboy hat, my Boba Fett fez, my other kind of special hats. Yeah, so that's why I get earbuds instead.
You know why I like these?
Why?
Okay. Here's why. Did you say something? I'm sorry. Sorry, I got my headphones on. Sorry, I can't hear you. They're my don't fucking talk to me headphones. When I don't want to talk to people, these motherfuckers are on. I just it fucks up the hat vibe, but I don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes the headphones, the Bose headphones, are the accessories themselves. They can just wear it around their neck. Are they actually listening to music? No, but they like the aesthetics of having Bose headphones hanging around their neck, like a necklace, a reverse necklace.
So there are reasons to vote for Biden.
True.
There are reasons, and here's one. Let's see if I can bring this up. Trump says he told Pence to ignore governors in hard-hit areas if they were not very appreciative.
Yeah, I remember seeing that headline.
He calls all the governors, and I tell him, I'm a different type of person. I say, Mike, don't call the governor of Washington. You're wasting your time with him. Don't call that woman in Michigan. If they don't treat you right, I don't call. You're going to let people die in those states.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, there are reasons to vote for Joe Biden, and it's just the frustrating bit is that you've put yourself in the same position you were in 2016. You have a candidate that is not a good candidate. He's not a strong candidate, and he can be defeated by someone that is, because what this comes down to now, that there's a margin of error in the polls right now. It usually sits somewhere between 2 and 4%, usually between 2 and 3%.
Yeah.
So that puts them close to the margin of error. Then you take into effect that polling is not spread out evenly among the states, and how in a way that the Electoral College will vote.
Mm-hmm.
The percentages in each one of those, how much it's worth. So there's a calculation that you have to do. And there's probably going to be 3 states: Wisconsin, Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania. These are some of the states that could be in play. Michigan. So you look at these states, Illinois. Illinois usually goes blue, but there are states that are swing states, Ohio, and if Trump gets a majority of those, he wins again.
Yeah.
Because Biden will take California, and just as Clinton did. But Trump's got an election map. It's not, again, if Biden beats him in the overall vote, and that doesn't fucking matter.
Nope.
That's not how the game is played, and people need to play the game as it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe Barack Obama was a once in a lifetime candidate, and a guy that actually had the speaking skills, the oratory, and had the political savvy to actually know when to do what he was doing, and realized how I'm trying to think of a way to put this. He never made any mistakes. I mean, besides wearing the tan suit, that. But I don't know. I mean, I whenever I see Democrats, who they're going to run, it's always the person that they think should be next. Not the person, not the person. They don't get behind the person that is the most electable. I mean, I still think that Bernie Sanders, of all the candidates that stood up, was probably between him and Elizabeth Warren were the two that would be most able to beat Trump. And I do think that if Biden picks either Klobuchar or Kamala Harris or especially Elizabeth Warren, that he will win. But he's got to back the fuck up and let his VP have a little bit more space than he does, because
that's what I said.
But we'll see. I mean, the thing is, what bothers me more than anything else in this is that people won't have the discussion, and there's already a partisan divide. I am not a Sanders supporter. I am a progressive. I am a leftist. I am a anarcho-syndicalist. I am an anarchist. We can go down all these labels. But at the end of the day, I also know that elections in the United States, there are two parties that matter. As it is right now, there are two parties that matter. You have a guy that was a multimillionaire in Ross Perot, and he got 20% of the vote. This guy spent his own money, and it was at a time when the Democratic Party was pretty weak, and so were the Republicans, and he only got 20% of the vote. So I mean, when you're talking about a three-way race, he needs to get at least 30%, 35%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the guy spent his own money. So unless you're Mike Bloomberg or somebody like that has a ton of money that you're going to keep throwing at it at the elections, I don't think that you're going to be able to do it in that way. And Mike Bloomberg was a horrible candidate, and he showed it. He won.
Yeah.
What did he win? Guam?
America Samoa. That's all he won.
He spent all that money and he got American Samoa. I hope it was worth it.
And yet, even Amy Klobuchar got one delegate from American Samoa as well. So Mike Bloomberg didn't get all of the delegates from American Samoa either.
Not good. He should be a better candidate. He should know that there's more value for money elsewhere. But yeah. So, Jonathan, I think I'm going to end here. Thanks for coming on. And I miss hearing everybody, Leto and Jonathan and everybody. But I understand you guys can have sick days. I hope it's not Corona.
Yeah, I hope not either, because I'm still working. Our business is like a essential business. Because we do provide supplies for like the medical industry, so that makes total sense. So I'm still coming. I'm busing into work too because I don't have a car. I don't just have a driver's license, but only like 3 or 4 people on the commuter buses going from where I live into Seattle, man. But I'm staying safe, washing my hands, keep my distances, and checking my temperature. And now they have people check my temperatures at work, and so far so good. But I'm not panicking. Remember, don't panic. However, the virus, this is a pandemic. It is real. It canceled WrestleMania. That's how you know it's real, when there's no NBA, there's no NHL, there's no WrestleMania this year.
I'm really disappointed by that. Now you're gonna tell me they're gonna cancel football, and I'm really gonna cry.
They canceled the Sakura-Con too. My anime convention is not happening this year.
Oh dear.
But I will live.
Yeah, there's so much. We're planning a pride here, and we're not gonna be. It's looking like it's probably not gonna happen because it's gonna be August. But they've already canceled events here in the city through May. So
yep.
I think when it comes to that, I think it's probably going to be. Depends. It depends. It depends on if. I think there is a really good opportunity for there to be a lot of change in the way politics happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take a lot of people getting out on the street, and it's going to have to be something that happens spontaneously because the people demand it. And I think that might come about if the government is unrealistic. And I think they are being unrealistic. I think this is going to go at least a year.
Yeah.
And if it goes a year, are you going to kill a bunch of people because small business or even just businesses can't function? It sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because essentially people are talking about if you get it and then you have immunity, you have the antibodies, then you're less, the less people that there are going to be out in the world being able to give it to somebody else.
Mm.
If you've already had it, you're not going to be able to give it to someone else. Because you're not going to be able to, you're going to have the antibodies, so it's not going to affect you. So it's literally kind of taken you out of the, and as that happens to, a good percentage of the people, you're going to have probably have some mutations. I'm already hearing about there being one in China that is a significant mutation. And there actually was one with the Spanish flu, which is actually the Kansas flu.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah. The 1918 influenza.
Yep. Known as the Spanish flu, but it's actually the Kansas flu, because that was where the first recorded
case of it.
Case of it, yeah. So
Kansas already has but Kansas already has it bad enough as it is. Have you seen Wizard of Oz? It's all dust and sepia tones.
Yeah. Okay, so I have I follow this insufferable and intolerant science nerd on Facebook, and they just posted something about Pornhub is now offering their services for free, and they talk about ethical porn. So I think I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah.
So I think that I am going to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm. Stay safe, everyone. Peace, love, and stay hydrated.
What? And I'm gonna work. I don't care. I do care, but I'm gonna steal something that you said for when I start the show from now on. what is it?
Hello, lads, lasses, and NB badasses.
Yes. Yes, I love that. I love that. Because trans women are women, trans men are men, and non-binary people are valid.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what Buck Angel says. Fuck you, Buck Angel.
Fuck you, Buck Angel.
Go fuck yourself.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you, Jonathan, for coming on, and I will hopefully
No
talk
problem.
to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Take care. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
And out.
That was Jonathan, some random geek. Thank Jonathan for coming on and having a little chitty McChat. And he's done a great job in the chat, by the way, if you want to go to YouTube, or actually, I think you'll see it in the restream, reposting in all the different chats. Check those out. Check some of those links out, especially the dumpster flower. Amazing stuff there. I don't know when I'm going to broadcast again. I'm thinking probably the 30th. That's my guess. But, and we'll get into a little bit more of a groove. I'm going to put a calendar out of days that I'll probably have shows. But anyways, guys, thank you for showing up. Love y'all and have a great night.
to let it go, baby. You got to let it go. You got to let it go, baby. You got to let it go. Hey,